The truth set you free.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Best Shape. I am Tony D, your host. Tonight,
In an age of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
Tonight we look inside the heart of darkness. Let me know where you are viewing from the Pineapple to the Big Apple, from Maine to fucking Spain. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here this evening. You're going to like this one. Chris Hansen, why don't you have a seat? Oh, no. Oh, no. My loneliness is killing me. I must confess, I still believe when you're not with me, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Everybody, sing it. Hit me, baby, one more time. Okay. Well, good. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show, the program. Make sure, what's going on? Make sure you smash that like button and behave yourself. Make sure you smash that like button. All right. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're going to be doing a nice, fun little giveaway at 5K subscribers. So we're going to have some fun with that. Good to see you, Dome, Tuck, and you behave yourself. Everybody just calm down. Good to see everybody. Tonight we're going to be covering a very interesting story. A story of, I should write stuff down. But I just like to wing it. How you doing, Lynn? A story of fame gone wrong. A story about a man who had a program about catching people who do bad things. The word begins with a P. I'm not even sure if I can say it on this thing. I believe the program was called To Catch a Predator. So tonight, we learn why Chris Hansen, the guy who catches the bad guys, what happened? What happened, Chris? I have run into, also on YouTube here, as you know, I do review things. I'm a terrible video editor, okay? I'm working on my video editing skills. So I like to do these review things because you're going to catch somebody's point of view about something. I really like this guy's, okay? His name's John Swan. I don't know if he's Irish or Scottish or whatever, but he's a handsome devil, and he's somebody who I very much enjoy. And he has got something going over there. He just does stuff on a bigger scale, going after the grifters again, just going after the big uns. And we are going to learn tonight about not only Chris Hansen and some of his alleged misgivings, societal misgivings, being arrested. Look, we all have our thing going, all right? But, he's on this show, and, well, let's just get right into it, shall we? Look at this, guys. I actually have the screen already up, ready to go. Free Britney. Okay. Lenny Dykstra. Okay, that's a funny story, Tuck. I partied with Lenny Dykstra at the Peninsula Hotel in Los Angeles. Guy's a fucking degenerate, but it was a lot of fun. It was a long time ago. Long time ago. In a galaxy far, far away. I guarantee it. All right, so here we go. Let's get into John Swan on Chris Hansen, and you're going to find a lot of this interesting. We're going to, we do a little stop and go.
Chris Hansen, commonly known online as the guy who baits criminals and puts them behind bars. He gained quite a bit of notoriety on television in the early 2000s for being a bastion of justice, fearless and daring. That is, until he was fired and sued and arrested.
And
so his career in mainstream television had disappeared, and that's when he decided to...
Like this, first of all, this is very well edited, okay? This is very well edited. Like, seriously, this is like it's like a small movie. Does anybody know any fucking editors? Because I need one. I need somebody to do this for me. Who do I have to pay? I'm not gonna blow anyone. All right, so forget that. So fuck that shit. All right, so that's not on the menu. All right, like I said, I'm not blowing anybody. None of that stuff. No butt stuff. None of that. Okay. I just need an editor that I can pay. Okay. All right, let's go.
Take the plunge and start afresh, independently, on YouTube, the platform that gives everyone a voice. It all started off well for Chris, and he gained a significant audience from covering the Onision case, where he brought on victims and mentioned there was FBI involvement.
Now, I want you all to keep in mind, on this channel, I interviewed Kai Bickel, who is the son of Peter Nygaard. He was arrested for human trafficking. This guy was like, they said this guy makes Epstein look like a Boy Scout. Anyway, I interviewed Kai, and that interview is on this channel. And Chris Hansen also interviewed Kai, and there was a little period of time there where there was a little crossover communication with Chris because I wanted to talk to him. Now I really would like to talk to him. What's up, Char? How you doing? How you doing?
These streams happened again and again and again and again.
So he just
every
went
time
after
we
this,
thought something was...
He just went after this other streamer, you know, Onision or whatever. I don't even know who the guy is, but like I said, I don't know him, so I can't say anything bad about him. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Happened, it just ended up being another false promise.
That turtleneck.
Chris Hansen isn't...
Holy shit. Hold on. Okay. He really likes the turtleneck. He fucking thinks he's James Bond.
Again and again. Every time we thought something would happen, it just
one.
ended up being another false
Nancy.
promise. Chris Hansen isn't doing this for the right reasons. And in the next little while, we'll be going down the rabbit hole together. It's quite a ride. So brace yourselves.
Hey everyone, Chris Hansen here on Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. We're going to continue this evening on our investigation of Onision, a YouTube sensation named Onision, into the YouTube streamer Onision. We've been investigating Onision. We are intensifying our investigation into Onision.
So this is when Chris starts to lose his grip. Okay. God, this is such a great video. This guy's really good. This guy, John Swan. Wow. Wow. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do them like live. I saw him on a live earlier today, actually. He does like a live like before his video. I might have to start doing that. I was considering it because I've seen it with some of these crypto pages that I've been looking at, right? But I think it's a good way to go. Live, and then we watch the video, and then we live it out, right? I don't know.
We continue our investigation into Onision. We are deep into the investigation of Onision. You are now on the front lines in a battle against a predator called COVID-19.
So basically, this is the intro. Wow. That's really good. Am I wrong? How good this video? I mean, we're doing this is like, you know. trying to do right by the old.
We all know him.
Why don't you have a seat right over there, please? Please have a seat right here.
We all love him.
I'm Chris Hansen. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
And apparently TV audiences did too.
Oh yes,
Former
I am.
television journalist Chris Hansen had one of the highest rated shows on Dateline.
Now, has anybody ever watched this television show? Has anybody seen it? Do we have anybody who hasn't seen this show? Right? What's up, Dory? Everybody, welcome. Is there anybody who hasn't seen this program? Because this is what he would do. He would set up, all right? He would set up these guys who were online, and he'd have some. There's this organization that they worked with who had like a girl who sounded young, but was actually, you know, of age, obviously. Some of them, I don't even know, the police, whatever. But they would set up these guys to show up at this place where they think like a 14-year-old girl is. They have the chat, they have everything there. And then the guy would walk in and boom, lo and behold, there's Chris Hansen with the chat. And there was a couple times when guys would be there like naked down to the fucking balls. All right. Like naked to the balls. All right. Gabish. Like down to the fucking, you know what I'm saying? Down to nothing. One guy in particular, he's just sitting there. Like he walks in, just takes off his clothes and then sits down. I don't know of any cultures that do that. I know of shoes. That's about as far as I've gone with that.
NBC, and To Catch a Predator conducted 12 investigations between 2004 and 2007 with the help of online watchdog group Perverted Justice.
Yeah, Perverted
Working
Justice.
in
That's
conjunction
the name of
with law enforcement, the show saw many deviants brought to justice. However, like any TV show, To Catch a Predator was created for profit and good ratings. And over time, the journalistic integrity of the show dwindled to the point where some courts wouldn't convict anyone because TCAP and Perverted Justice were involved in the investigations.
Now, there was a very ugly situation that happened here that's probably going to come up in a couple minutes. Unfortunately, there was a time when there were people who, well, you'll see.
Despite this massive controversy, the show continued through many investigations, some successful, some not. And the 8-time Emmy Award winner Chris Hansen was known across America and
That's
the world
him catching a guy,
as the Predator
you know.
Hunter. All seemed to be going up for Hansen and NBC until
Then this guy was like, you know, he was like, this was like a show that people liked. I look forward to watching this at one time. All right. I feel fucking bamboozled.
tragic case of Louis Conrad.
Oh, okay. So this is what happened. Now, this is if this is triggering, but this gentleman here unfortunately took his own life as a result of this show. Watch this. So this is what happens when the
56-year-old
media
district
goes
attorney
too
Louis
far.
Conrad
When
was
somebody
one of the
like
individuals
Chris
caught by-
Hansen takes a story too far to a point where they do this, you know, like, what's the point of this, Chris?
Perverted Justice. Conrad posed as a 19-year-old university student engaging in online chat with a boy, Luke, who he thought to be 13 years of age.
It's a
Conrad
setup.
attempted to solicit
just set him
images
up
from the
and
13-year-old,
They should
and
be
things
arrested.
escalated when Perverted Justice
And they should face justice. And they set him up, you know what I mean? But you know, legally, some of the stuff that they did really, they deferred to sensationalism over journalism. I like that. See, I don't write this down.
hired an actor to play Luke over the phone. After the first few conversations, Conrad ceased on returning calls, and he abandoned all online chats with the boy for unknown reasons. He never showed up to the Sting House.
So what happened is here, listen to that. They got him in the chat. He was chatting. Then he stopped. Then he ceased all contact with this. Okay. Hey, Sarah. He ceased all contact. And Let's keep going. Let's see what happened. Did Chris stop there? I wonder.
According to Perverted Justice members, content from Conrad's MySpace page began to disappear, leading them to believe that Conrad was covering up his tracks, and this played a part in the decision of the authorities to pursue a warrant for his arrest. Dayline NBC and Chris Hansen saw this opportunity to produce a piece of sensationalized TV and decided to show up to Conrad's house hours before any warrant was signed. But little did they know that this investigation would end in disaster.
The Murphy police obtained an arrest warrant for Conrad and did something we've not seen before. They contacted the local authorities in Conrad's town and knocked on his door. Conrad didn't answer. The police said there were signs he was still inside, so a tactical team was called in. The officers lined up in formation, then broke through the back door. But before they could make the arrest, the assistant DA pulled out a gun and pointed it at his head.
As they made entry, they confronted the suspect. I believe he was in the hallway, and he told them he wasn't going to hurt them, and then shot himself in the head.
Oh, my God. Okay, so... No. No, sir. No, ma'am. No way. No hell. Fuck that. I hope they sue these people at least. I mean, that's it. The only thing they could do.
According to
Look
raw
at this
footage
poor
obtained
guy.
by news publication
Jesus.
Esquire, who did a fantastic piece on the TCAP investigation of Conrad, at least one Dateline cameraman had hidden himself near the Conrad residence door. In an interview with Esquire, Chris Hansen denied the crew members were on the private property. This was a lie. He also denied that Perverted Justice was present at the Conrad residence. This was a lie. Chris Hansen stated both in his blog and on air that Conrad's MySpace page began to disappear. The fact of the matter is that he never even remembered.
He went online. He had a chat. Then what looked like happened was he saw that he was 13. It seemed that after that, he stopped contacting, stopped the chat, didn't show up at the house. I'm not sure how far he took it, but, you know, I mean, there's several different ways you could look at this. And I understand all of them, you know, but I wasn't there, you know. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what some of the other evidence was. I mean, the guy was a DA. He shot himself in the head. That doesn't bode well with someone who's not guilty, certainly, you know, of something. So maybe he just thought his gig was up with this stuff, and you know, maybe he did go too far, or maybe he realized he was on a computer that he shouldn't have been, and then, you know, there's so many different factors that could happen. Bottom line, you don't go online and chat with what you think is an underage child. You son of a bitch.
And a later investigation.
So some might say, hey, you know, in a video game, good riddance. You know, but some might say, hey, you know, this guy was pushed by the media and the police, and he did this to himself, and there's another way to do this. They didn't have to go banging on the door of his house. They could have they could have caught him outside. You know, they could have just done it a different way. I think they could have at least taken him in alive. I think it's just bad that he just shot himself like that, and you know, maybe some of the information he had could have helped. Some other cases or something. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem right.
By Esquire revealed that Conrad's page had not been touched for months before.
I don't write any of this, okay?
Another lie.
I just roll with it.
Conrad's death increased criticism of the already controversial show significantly, with pieces in Rolling Stone and the previously mentioned Esquire, with many publications calling it a mess from the point of journalism and that it created news rather than reporting it. The sister of Louis Conrad, Patricia Conrad, filed a $100 million lawsuit against NBC in July of 2007.
Oh, you do hate?
And 9 months later, the judge allowed her infliction of emotional distress and civil rights claims to be heard by a jury.
The entertainment industry cannot act as police, judge, jury, executioner.
I absolutely agree with that. This is not the first time that the media have pushed somebody to the point of self-harm, and I certainly do not condone that. This, it's horrible when anybody does this. Very few circumstances, and you really can't establish the level of this guy's guilt. I mean, maybe he was just psychologically just whacked. Who knows? Yeah, that's right. With the guy thing, with the dudes in the I remember that. Oh man, the look on that dude's face on that show, Shar. Holy biscuits.
And for a corporation like NBC, ratings and money matter.
Another judge found that she had a reasonable chance of proving that NBC had pressed police into engaging in unreasonable and unnecessary tactics solely for entertainment value, thus creating a substantial risk of harm. He also found that NBC's actions amounted to conduct so outrageous and extreme that no civilized society should tolerate it. In June of 2008, the lawsuit was amicably resolved out of court. Shortly after this, To Catch a Predator was officially cancelled. Hansen believed the segments ended simply because they had run their course, and that they had proven their point. But the link between Conrad and the cancellation was too coincidental to ignore. While Chris Hansen's successful show was still running, he and his team captured predators by the use of hidden cameras and sting operations. So it is quite ironic that in June of 2011, Hansen was caught cheating on his wife of 20 years in an undercover sting operation.
They would just mob them with the hidden cameras as they were there, doing this crime. They would just mob them with the hidden cameras. And then they would walk outside, and there was like a takedown team. And there was a guy hiding in the bushes who had a fucking ghillie suit on. And if you guys don't know what a ghillie suit is, basically, it's like camouflage for, it's like tactical jungle camouflage. It's like draped over you. It looks like leaves or whatnot. You stuff some straw and fucking whatever's around you in it too. If you're, snipers or whatever, you got to blend in. So a ghillie suit, that's one of those things. It looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon that jumps out. You remember that?
Arranged by the National
So here's
Enquirer.
Chris.
For over 4 months, Chris Hansen was reportedly having an affair with Florida television
Mr.
reporter
Hidden Camera.
Kristen Cadell,
Oh,
who was
the hidden
22
camera.
years his junior. This was a big story in the tabloids back in 2011, and following this, Kristen Cadell said
22 years his junior. What? He's like 78 fucking. What was he? What was she? 51? What? What are they talking about?
she was told to move to smaller markets and start her career over because of the scandal, and was hard-pressed to find new work at any other station.
For the past 2 years, I was told that it would be in my best
Are you telling me
interest
she doesn't
not
look
to
a
say
little
anything.
long in the tooth?
Let it blow over. Just keep trying to truck along and keep trying to get jobs. But we are here 2
Some
years
sun
later,
damage.
and I probably don't go a day without an employer tell me they don't want to hire me because of the situation involving Chris Hansen. I thought by not saying anything, and Chris advised me that it would be in my best interest not to say anything, that I would continue to go and my life would go back to normal. My life has been the exact opposite of that.
She said Hansen led her to believe his 20-year marriage to wife Mary Joan was on its last legs, so he was free to date any other woman.
Like a younger
At the
version of his
time,
wife, right?
this was hardly the reality.
I mean,
that I would continue to go. They don't want to hire me because of the situation involving Chris Hansen. I thought by not saying anything, and Chris advised
so she
me
wasn't
that it
able
would
to
be
get
in my
work
best interest
as a
not to
result
say
of
anything,
this.
that I would continue to go and my life would go back to normal. My life has been the exact opposite of that.
She said Hansen led her to believe his 20-year marriage to wife Mary Joan was on its last legs, so he was free to date any
Oh my
other
gosh!
woman.
I mean,
At
is
the
that
time,
weird?
This was
Is that
hardly
weird?
the reality.
Do they look like? Do they not? I mean, come on. The fuck? I mean, this looks like her mom.
Was on its last legs, so he was free to date
Does
any
that not look like her mom? Hello? Is there anybody here? Does anybody fucking see this? Can you guys chime in? The fuck? I mean, can you see this? Is this just me, or does this look like this? Oh,
Wife, Mary Joan, was on its last legs.
Mary
he was
Joan
free
and
to
Mary
date
Joan
any other
Jr.
woman. At the time, this was hardly the reality.
He was trying to get it on with both of them.
Double standard. A double standard is an understatement.
Why don't you have a
what
seat?
happens in this industry. The women get
On my
fired,
penis.
and the men keep going.
Kristen Cadell also dropped
Isn't that
some
weird,
images
right?
of Chris Hansen's romantic relationship with her, and 2 weeks after those images were released, Hansen was dropped from the NBC network.
Honey, I can
with his
explain.
contract not
Why don't you have a
being
seat?
renewed.
Chris has been a valued member of the team, and we thank him for his many contributions to Dateline and NBC News over the last 20 years. We wish him the very best.
A source told Radar Online that the reason
Sure.
Hansen's contract wasn't being renewed was simple.
His personal life was becoming an embarrassing distraction to NBC. As a journalist, when your personal life begins making the news, there are big problems. NBC thought Chris exercised very, very bad judgment by getting romantically involved with a local NBC affiliate reporter from Florida. It could have left the network open to big legal problems. Chris was becoming a punchline on late-night TV shows, so it was time for NBC to cut ties with Chris.
Since Chris Hansen was fired from NBC, his entertainment life went on standstill. So much so that on April the 15th, 2015, he started a Kickstarter to fund a new set of predator catching investigations.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
something you need to know.
89
I'm
grand.
Chris Hansen, and you are going to help me catch predators again. Go ahead, have a seat right over there. This will just take a few minutes.
We've come to Kickstarter to bring back the show you love with you, to create a second edition of
Why don't you have a
Predator that we
seat?
can offer online using the best team, technology, and methodology available.
The hype around the TCAP
Here
community was
comes the
wild,
grift.
and the campaign quickly took off, with it being directly promoted by Kickstarter. On top of a new set of investigations, the campaign promised rewards to backers.
Depending on your level of involvement, you'll be rewarded with a variety of unique perks. From a personalized voicemail message from me, to a Hansen vs. Predator t-shirt, to an exclusive screening and background briefing event hosted by me.
I will personally show up to your home. I will give you a back rub, and I will reach around and perhaps manipulate you digitally until you release. I will do anything for $1. This is what I will do.
And my crew.
The estimated time for the delivery of these rewards was December of 2015.
I have a $20,000 a month apartment. I'm going to need cash. I'm going to need prostitutes, and I'm going to need narcotics.
Just keep that in the back of your mind here.
Thank
the
you.
Kickstarter was covered in several news outlets and even found its way to
You could
Jimmy
have a
Kimmel Live.
T-shirt.
The support behind Chris Hansen's movement was
Who
so
is
great
Jimmy
that the
Hitler
goal
over
of
here?
75
What the F is up with Jimmy? I see, like, I don't even watch this stuff, but what's with the little stashy
$1,000
there?
was reached in just 22 days, and the campaign ended up raising $89,000 overall.
Wow.
In mid-July 2015, production started on this new set of investigations. Chris Hansen went completely dark until February of 2016, when he announced that the new investigation had been completed and that he was pitching the program to networks to find a new home for Hansen versus Predators. But you may be
Hansen
thinking,
versus
didn't we just
Predators.
pass the December 2015 date when rewards were supposed to be delivered? If you thought that, you would be correct. And in April 2016, Hansen's team came back with an update on rewards, saying that the investigation required the team to go dark, but now they were ready to give the supporters not only a great show, but the awesome rewards that were promised to them. Okay, well, a few months delay, no big deal, right? Things happen, and delays with rewards are common with Kickstarters. In April of 2016, Hansen was named as the new host for Crime Watch Daily, and the investigation that the backers funded would be airing on national television.
Everybody put a word in there. To catch throw it in the chat. Come on. What do you think of him? To catch a can't use words that were already used. To catch a give it to me. Why don't you have a seat?
Very soon. But rewards to backers
To
were
catch a
still not being
crackhead.
delivered. People started to become frustrated, and word spread through the TCAF
Catch a
community, with many people calling Hansen a con man and a scammer.
I'm Chris Hansen from To Catch a Prick. Now, I don't think we could use that, Bob. Bob, I don't think that's going to go. I don't think that's going to fly. I don't think that's going to fly either, Shar. To catch a fish.
The next month, the segment started to air on national TV
Wow,
and began
Shar.
to be posted to
Okay.
YouTube. The series was praised,
Like,
and
what
many
is he
people called
just
it
like?
a great
Is
revival.
he just like drilling him in the ass here to teach him a lesson? Is that what's happening? He's like, why don't you have a seat? Actually, grab your ankles. And I'd like to put you on this dining room table and serve you some cookies. Have some cookies. Did you? There was like part of it was, I don't know why they're not showing this because, man, John is great. John Swan, who put this video together. But what I would have done is made sure that people got to see the girl as they're coming in. They have the girl saying, "Oh yeah, come on in. I'm just changing the laundry. Have some cookies. Sit down. Have some cookies." And they have the girl's voice. Does anybody remember this? Oh, it was great. Why don't you have a seat? Grab your ankles and, if you wouldn't mind, cup your nuts and put your feet apart. Just a couple meters. If you could get them that far, can you drop a split? Oh my goodness. Look at this guy. He's got his hands on the table. This, first of all, the guy right here that we're seeing is shitting his pants because he is caught probably trying to put his nuts on a 14-year-old boy in this video, allegedly, and in a video game. That's what these people want to do. They want to do stuff with people who are underage, and Chris is supposed to be some kind of hero here.
Of the once popular NBC show. But as the months went by, the rewards to backers were still not being delivered.
And there were a couple people that showed up on this show, and let me just tell you something. They weren't quite they weren't quite right. I mean, as there's an Italian slang word, it says shungat. All right, he was a little shungat, a little fucked up. You know, a lot of the people looked that way when they came in on this show.
Even things that required no shipping, like custom voicemails, were not being delivered to backers, even though Chris said they had
So
been
he wasn't
delivered
fulfilling
a long time
and
ago.
delivering on his
In
rewards.
September of 2017, nearly 2 years
For
after
these
the initial expected date of delivery,
donors.
Chris Hansen bought $13,000 worth of merchandise from a Connecticut vendor, which included 355 ceramic mugs, 288 t-shirts, and 650 vinyl
Why don't you have a seat and a vinyl decal?
decals. These were for the Kickstarter backers. But according to the vendor, Hansen's initial check bounced, and the business
Ruh-roh.
filed a complaint against Hansen in April 2018 when they were still waiting to be paid. In late April of 2018, over 7 months after the original check was supposed to be paid.
Well, the great thing about the bigger guys coming down through here for the program is
Hansen issued another check to the vendor, but it bounced 3 days later.
You could grab their tits.
When the business asked Hansen what was going on, Hansen replied, "Peter, I truly thought I had this covered. I'm scrambling to get it done. Please give me till the end of the day. I sold a boat to cover the rest of this. I need to pick up the payment this afternoon."
Cookies.
But another check never came. And the police...
Yeah, certainly. Please, have a cookie. Have a cookie. Have 2 cookies. Have 2 cookies and grab your ankles.
Police issued an arrest warrant for Hansen. Hansen turned himself in and was arrested on the 14th of January
There you go.
2019.
Did you ever
and was
think that you would see a mugshot of Chris Hansen? And look, he is being arrested for bouncing a check in Connecticut. Now, first of all, he's obviously no Sammy the Bull, as we've seen on Mafia Mondays. That's here on every Monday night. So make sure you join me, set those notifications, join me for Mafia Mondays. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, share it out to your friends, but hit that like button because I really got fucked when my channel got deleted because everybody's notifications got deleted. So it's like starting from spanking brand new. All right? Well, pain in the ass. But whatever. It happens. And here we are, looking at Chris Hansen. Yes. Have you got a comb? A comb.
Released without bond on the promise to appear in court. It was very clear at this point that Hansen was in some serious money problems, and the day after reports of his arrests were made public, on the 18th of January 2018, the Daily Mail obtained court documents that showed Hansen owed $58,000 to American Express,
Yikes.
$126,000 to TD Bank,
Chris.
over $15,000 to Ali Financial, and over $1,078,000 to his mortgage lender, the U.S. Bank Trust, according to complaints filed in Connecticut courts over the previous 3 years. On top of all of this, Hansen also...
Well, there's one thing that we could really say here is that all I know, Connecticut doesn't like Chris Hansen. What do you think?
Also owed over $250,000 in bank taxes. And not only that, but he was also being evicted from his Manhattan apartment for not paying rent for the previous 5 months. Hansen was clearly in some serious issues. And at this point, any new move to solicit money from his fans should have been met with immediate backlash. But this was not the case.
Hey guys, just popping in here with an emergency meme video. Really emergency. This is really high pressure stuff. Chris is really starting to go in a new direction online with a number of different websites and channels.
Yes,
and
downward.
Stuff too. Chris,
The direction is
right now.
not
we
up.
We want to help you. We love what you're doing. So Chris has got this new channel. He's launching a new website. He's going in a new, bold direction. Chris, a couple errors that we want to address.
Okay. First of all, I'm not going to say anything other than do I have to wear some kind of fucking wacky shirt to get 2 million fucking subs? I mean, Jesus, I'm shadow banned beyond the beyond. Like a cigarette butt. So smash that like button, and his shirt says ballsy. All right. Well, these guys have a lot of subs, so have me on your show.
So I noticed Chris has uploaded about
Again,
60
I'm
videos
not
in
gonna
the last
blow
days,
you.
which is okay. That's fine. I get it. You want a little catalog when people get there. Yeah. Let's watch his most recent video here. Okay. So it's Chris Hansen.
I know.
Update.
I'm
Chris
trying.
Hansen updates.
Hey everyone, it's
Good.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Hansen in New York City. Just wanted to
Oh
tell
my
you
God,
how
what
excited
phone
I
is
am about
this?
my new YouTube channel.
Let's go look at your header on YouTube. All right, let's go over here to YouTube. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
These guys
Speaking
are
of
funny
YouTube
though.
stuff, I'm looking at your catalog here, Chris.
I just didn't see that they had 2.2 million subscribers before. And then I just see like, okay, well, it's just so simple. And these two dudes are just sitting here at this fucking table. And how is it that easy? Are you serious? Are you serious that these guys just go sit at a table like this and they're this popular? They just get on and there's what? How many views of this? It's like 700. Hold on. 745,426 views of this. There are 44,000 likes, 337 dislikes. That checks out, right? I don't know the numbers, but whatever. That's a lot. And I mean, look, no offense or anything like that, but I mean, just how? Like, what did they do? What have they been here since they turned on YouTube? I don't understand. Can someone explain this to me? How this works? Because I've been trying to look, and normally I don't give a shit, but some things just baffle the fuck out of me, and this does. I'm not bagging on them. You know what I mean? But I am kind of bagging on them, and fuck them at the same time. Like, who knows? I don't, I'm fucking around. I was just saying that to just make a joke a little bit, because then it doesn't matter if it's good or bad on YouTube. It just, anyway, I was just kind of joking around. Whatever.
You wanted
Mr.
to
Gus.
have a culmination of some of your greatest hits. That's fine. I don't know what your licensing situation is. If you have the legal rights to upload old NBC clips or other Crime Watch Daily things, and not just even the NBC stuff, Chris. I'm looking here. You've uploaded an appearance of yours on Conan, a fan-made compilation of the best animated parodies of you, and like an Oprah appearance. I'm gonna go on a limb and say you don't own the rights to that. That's fine. Maybe take those down.
Yeah,
definitely take those down.
You can put them up in other places, probably, like
These guys
just
are
your
funny.
Instagram or Twitter. But on YouTube, that's gonna be a no for me.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
But are they 2 million
Despite the rocky
followers
start,
funny?
Hansen's
is what I'm
arrival on the
saying.
YouTube scene was met with overall positivity. Many
Look,
YouTube
maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe one of these guys on a network show. Maybe one of these guys, I don't know. I don't know. I like it, and I don't like it at the same time. It's very confusing, the emotions I'm feeling right now. The fuck?
was including Gus and Eddie and Mr. GG promoted his channel.
Hey guys, Chris Hansen here, just breaking in to let you know that tomorrow night.
All right, Chris Hansen just breaking in to let you know. I'm Chow cruising for some guys.
Mr. GG. Check it out. See you then.
And as a
Mr.
result,
GG.
his subscribers and interest in his
Check
new
it
projects quickly grew. At first, it seemed like Chris was using his YouTube channel to gain some interest in upcoming investigations. He heavily promoted his new website, but also got involved in analyzing some other cases in the YouTube community.
Join me tonight live on my YouTube channel, HansenvsPredators.com, for the Austin Jones case. Tomorrow night on the live show, 8 Eastern, on my YouTube channel, Hansen vs. Predators, we're going to take a look at the Only Use Me Blade case. Ice Poseidon. Modern day streaming shock jock, or is there something more disturbing going on Discord?
I mean, is he just like looking at anything that he finds? Is he just looking at anything? Velcro. Yes, deep investigation into Velcro. And next week, we're going to be diving very deep into the mystery and nefarious origins of fluorescent lighting. And the week after that, we will look into the evil Nazi connection to batteries. Yes, batteries. Evil batteries, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we'll be looking at. And for our Christmas special, we will be looking, obviously, into the direct connection of Satanism and, of course, pedophilia to and the pedophilia to the cotton candy. Fucking guy.
Check out my live show Wednesday, 8
Ice
Eastern,
Poseidon.
on my YouTube channel, Hansen vs. Predators.
And Jeffrey Epstein?
Tune in tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on my
name's too
YouTube channel,
long.
Hansen vs. Predators. We'll have the
It's a
very
weird
latest
name.
Jeffrey Epstein human trafficking sex scandal and investigation. Major scoop in the Jeffrey Epstein case right now. Stay tuned. I'll have the very latest right here on all my social media and YouTube, as well as
I
the
don't know.
website, HansenvsPredators.com. More to come.
Okay then.
Thunder nuts.
Chris was running his YouTube channel and website with the help of web guy Vincent Nicotra, a fellow New York resident who owned a website designing company called Venn Interactive Media. But as the weeks went by, it was pretty clear that Vincent was not the most competent when it came to this area. I mean, come on, the website looks like it was made by a 7th grader. But this begs the question of, why did Chris use...
I mean, Chris Hansen makes Charlie Ward and Simon Parks look like stark novices. Those guys in that whole crew in that group, they had you got to consider that some of these shows were international hits all around the world, television ratings, not just some internet scam. This went all around the horn,
Vince and not someone more competent? Well, it's because Vince would do it for free. Yes, folks, I talked to a few people that covered this story back in the day, and apparently Vince was not being paid for his work with Chris Hansen. Instead, he would be paid with exposure, with ads for his website being plastered everywhere on the YouTube channel. Two incompetent
he at his
individuals trying
grandmother's
to
house?
make a start on YouTube. What could go wrong? Well, a lot, actually. On his live shows and update videos, Chris Hansen promised more Predator investigations coming soon on his website.
I know we always get, when's the next Predator investigation? Well, we moved some equipment around yesterday, as a matter of fact.
You can't tell me that he wasn't.
that's all I'm gonna
Hansen
say.
absolutely was part of the plan. Look at him.
I
He
know
looks like
everybody's anxious.
you
A lot
know
of people
who.
want to set the timetable for me, but that's just not possible. It'll be very, very soon. Work as
Doing
well
you
as
know
some new
what in the
investigations coming very soon. In a matter of days, we'll have my new website up, Hansen versus Predators, exclusive
Yap Yap.
content and different kinds of stories.
What's Yap Yap?
Investigations into all kinds of
27
We'll
subscribers.
see very soon new investigations, and we'll have new investigations as well. So stand by, it's coming soon. So investigations are already under the works. We're about to get out in the field for another Hansen versus
We're
Predator.
gonna
In the
get it
meantime,
going.
We're prepping to get out in the field for some more investigations.
Firing it up.
And we're working on some other investigations, including human trafficking.
Chris Hansen
We
is
sent
cute.
some hidden cameras into some different locations.
Well, he was one of them.
We've got some very alarming results, and we're in editing on
true.
that piece right now. So, we hear about it's in the works, we're in editing. Ashley wants to know when the new Hansen versus Predators investigations will be coming online. If everything goes as planned, it will be this fall.
You could purchase a subscription of $10 a month or $84 a year to watch exclusive content. In reality, there was only ever
I
one
think he
piece
is.
of exclusive content shown, and it was an old investigation from the Crime Watch Daily era that they chose not to air
Feminine, yeah.
because it involved a 19-year-old. There were no new investigations as promised,
boy.
and to this day, nothing else has been published on the site other than a few extra bits of footage from investigations that had already aired. Hansen was held accountable for this by the TCAP community, and Vincent Nicotra, his web producer, was lumped into these videos, with the most popular examples coming from channels West Most and Baked Salmon. But Hansen and Vince didn't like this very much, and stooped to the level that almost no
Baked
YouTuber
salmon.
would ever stoop to. They took down
Baked
these critical
salmon.
videos using the copyright system. And it
Exactly.
wasn't just critical videos.
Exactly.
The videos
Tuck, you
owned
got
by NBC. Hansen might like to think he owns the rights to his NBC shows.
So this person put a strikeout on a piece of material that is my face, my image, my voice, my name.
But just in the clips we have, it's very
Boy,
clear
you just
that
don't
he
understand how that works,
It's
huh?
literally not how copyright works, Chris. It was
You
pretty
just
clear
don't
that
get that
Chris's
part.
insane assistant Vince was the one issuing these strikes to channels.
Is that Billie
and Mr.
Eilish?
GG made a whole 25-minute video going into the specifics of that
No.
if you want to watch it.
Chris Hansen had a live stream, and since he was traveling for work, he was in a different location that was somewhat near a member of the To Catch a Predator TCAP community. That member was Yap Yap. She thought it would have been cool to possibly meet Chris and get her book signed, so she was somewhat hounding him in the chat.
Oh, here, Yap Yap. This is the one Yap Yap earlier that had the footage from the thing, and then Mr. GG. Oh, here's Mr. GG. See, the things are coming together. I don't know who these
If he
people
was
are.
up for it. Chris never ended up addressing it in the live stream, and that was that.
Last week I was in Toronto, as many of you know, and a request came in from somebody who, I guess I don't really know them, if I was going to be available after the live broadcast to meet up. It just didn't work out. And I guess the people, or that person and some other people, were upset about it.
I can't keep
They told me
watching it.
this means his channel was terminated for getting over 3 copyrights.
Have a seat
All right.
with Chris Hansen. All the new exciting content is now going
We're going to
go
go
there.
into
Chris stated that his old
A
channel
part
was
right here.
terminated for having the word
we're going to get into some of the manipulation and abuse of the YouTube terms of service here. And you're going to sort of see how this goes.
Predator in his channel name. But if you navigate to his old channel, it says he was terminated for multiple third-party claims of copyright infringement. And in a conversation with a YouTube representative, they told me this means his channel was terminated for getting over 3 copyright strikes. You can't tell me this wasn't because of the NBC clips he was uploading. Thank goodness, Chris had live-streamed Blair White's interview to 2 channels. Funny that, it's almost like he knew his current channel was in trouble. Chris's next guest was Repsion, and this stream did very well, even better than the Blair White interview, and this brought back his subscriber
Probably
count
because
to
see, I need like a.
respectable
Do I
numbers.
need to change my name
Every-
to something? Look at that name. Look at that name, Repsion. Is there something to that? If I completely missed the whole point?
Thing was set up for a banger, and bangers he did receive. Chris interviewed Sarah, who was in many of Onision and Kai's videos and lived with them for months, and also Canadian musician Shiloh, who had been in a relationship with Onision and also appeared in many of his videos back in the day. These girls were given a platform by Chris to expose Onision's repulsive behavior, and everyone was behind him. He brought on more victims and people associated with said victims and exposed many aspects of Onision's life and YouTube image. Every stream consistently did very well. But some people felt like Hansen was trying to manipulate the narrative to sensationalize the story and keep the viewers interested.
My first thing was I spoke to Vincent, and basically I gave him the whole rundown about my experience with Onision's forums, my interaction with Onision, etc. I went over all that, and he said, okay, I'm going to forward this on to Chris, and we'll do a call with Chris tomorrow. So we did a pre-interview the next day, and so we're doing this pre-interview, and it was basically exactly like the interview I did live on his show. It was basically the exact same conversation, plus or minus maybe a couple of questions. So it was the same thing the day before. At the end of this pre-interview, he basically turned to Vincent, and they were going over what the plan was for the next show, the next day.
Two Dans in a row.
The thing that stood out to me the most was he said, I really want to hit home tomorrow night on this whole cult thing. And he was basically telling me and Vincent that he was going to be putting emphasis on Onision being a cult leader and stuff like that. So it was clear to me right then as well that, okay, he's not entirely being an unbiased reporter here. He's trying to paint a narrative here of Onision being a cult leader. I mean, he's asked me questions already about, do you think Onision's a cult leader? And I'm like, well, I can't really answer that. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I think I gave a long answer in the interview. I don't remember what I said, but he kept asking me questions like that. They were very leading, like, do you think he's a cult leader? Do you think he should be in jail? And I kept having to maneuver my way around these questions as to not, because I don't want to just say no, because it's like, well, I'm not someone who decides if Onision should be in jail or not. I mean, that's down to law enforcement. If he's broken a law, then sure, he should be in jail, but if not, then okay, he shouldn't. So he kept asking questions like that, and I could see how a lot of the other people who had done interviews before me would have felt very pressured into saying, oh yeah, definitely, he should be in jail. Like, I've watched the other interviews, and he sits at the end of the thing, he's sitting there going, so what do you think should happen to Onision? And he gives that really intense stare down the camera at them, and these are just nervous girls who don't know what they're talking about, and they're like, oh, he should definitely be in jail. It's a lot of questions like that I found that he kept asking.
For someone with 8 Emmys, it does seem like Chris was preying on emotion in order to get more out of the story. Not exactly the most journalistic approach imaginable. On top of this, there also seemed to be some behind-the-scenes drama taking place that was somewhat overshadowing the actual investigation, mainly to do with Chris's web producer, Vincent Nicotra. Vincent was accused of making ableist jokes on Twitter. He claimed he was hacked and also doxed people who he said had hacked his account. Of course, these people were completely innocent, but this is Vincent we're talking about here. In a series of videos by Bakeline, they also expose some of Vincent's side projects for misinformation and malpractice. Vince claims to have created a website builder and a live stream application in-house by himself. But evidence from the video showed that you could buy these scripts online.
BS builder.
This misinformation led potential users to believe Vincent knew what he was doing when realistically he was drastically out of his depth.
Wow.
On top of all of this and the false copyright strikes, there was quite a list of questionable things that Vince had done. Vince released an apology via Chris Hansen's Twitter account, citing poor judgment, ego, and emotional responses. Shortly after this, Vincent was officially fired by Chris Hansen.
Wow.
From State Farm Insurance that he's been part of a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme involving what they consider bogus medical treatments.
Chris, how do you keep bringing on these sketchy people? I'm convinced this man doesn't know.
This is one of the
student at the University of Michigan and a woman who otherwise wants her privacy protected.
Yet another woman
filing some disturbing things to her inside a farm.
Brings up a myriad of results.
This
and
Mike Morris
none
guy.
too flattering.
First at 6, a
was
$10
his
million
guest.
lawsuit pitting two high-profile attorneys against each other.
A client of Jeffrey Feiger is claiming Mike Morse did some disturbing things to her inside a Farmington Hills restaurant.
Attorney Mike Morse under fire again and being sued a second time on accusations of sexual assault. Carolyn, Stephen, this is the third
This is one of Chris
lawsuit
Hansen's
filed
buddies.
in the last 2 weeks, and this one involves a graduate student at the University of Michigan and a woman who otherwise wants her privacy protected. Yet another woman filing suit against him, claiming sexual harassment as an employee at Morse's law firm.
Oh, no, never mind, guys. One of them committed perjury. No problem. Oh, no, never mind. The court says the others are still valid. Oh, no, it's going to the Michigan Supreme Court.
Well-known local attorney Mike Morse is denying claims from State Farm Insurance that he's been part of a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme involving what they consider bogus medical treatments.
Chris, how do you keep bringing on these sketchy people? I'm convinced this man does no research at all into the people he brings on his team and show.
He's a clout
He did it with
chaser.
Vincent, he did it with Mike Morse, and he's done it many times since then. And I'll be going into that more in the next part of this series. Okay, enough with Mike. Let's move on. Over time, people started to lose interest in Chris's investigation. His views started to decrease, and this was mainly due to the fact that the people he was bringing onto his show weren't actual victims of Onision. He just needed one more thing to bring everyone's attention back to the story and to keep the heat on Onision. But what could that possibly be?
911, what are you reporting?
Hi, there's a person who's been stalking me online and they just showed up to my house.
Okay, and they're outside now?
Yes, they're knocking on my door.
Okay.
They have a bunch
He
of
went to the
camera
guy's
people,
house.
like they're YouTube stalkers.
And the one that's knocking on your door, is he the main one that...
He went to the guy's house after the other guy shot himself in the fucking head. And he went and did it again. Oops, I did it again. See? You see why I opened up? I opened up with Brittany today. Yesterday was Backstreet Boys.
You said has been
Who
stalking you?
knows what
Yeah,
tomorrow's
he's a
going to bring?
stalker.
I got a lot of
He only
content to
thinks that
put
makes it
out.
work now.
Okay, and what do we know his name at all?
It's Chris Hansen.
It's like it's fucking Chris Hansen. All right, guys. So that is part one of the Chris Hansen story. I think y'all should definitely go over and check out John Swan, who did a stellar, outstanding job in putting that together. And you will see so much more that he has done on this story. So give John Swan a follow. I mean, a sub. And go look at the other parts of this story. There's part 2. There is another part where Chris Hansen has this like internet anon gene or something like that. It's just some weird shit that goes on, you know. And they're like going after this guy John Swan, like they're putting copyright strikes on him, and I mean he gets like, you know, it's attacked. Anybody who puts out something that is truthful usually is going to get attacked. So make sure you smash that like button, guys. Thank you so much for joining me again tonight. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you had a great time. If you did, again, hit that like button, tell your friends, and join me next time for another edition of the Veritas Machine. I got a lot more content coming this week, and I do appreciate so much you guys being here. And until next time, full send.
The truth set you free.
All right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to see you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you share this out. Tell your friends. Don't forget Mafia Monday coming up next week.
Universal deceit. Telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
I might even put something together for a couple more shows this week. I do have a lot of content that I had going, and my page was shut down for a while, but now we're back. So I might come on a few days this week just to get some of this stuff onto the channel. So thank you so much for joining me. In sync? All right. Let's go. See you on the next one, guys. Thanks so much for joining.